NIssim Ezekiel's poem of the separation was published in 1976. It is a love poem, touching and poignant, though there is a touch of humor and irony in the concluding lines. The speaker is addressing a woman whom he used to love, but after a time deserted him. She is not present with him, so the speaker is addressing her only in his imagination. The speaker says, as far as he can remember, he and the lady had really fallen in love with each other at the very time when a war between India and Pakistan had broken out in Kashmir. Their love was as explosive as the bombs which began to burst in that part of India. Their falling in love was a stormy affair, and the lover felt that his being had merged with hers. At that time, he says the war between the two countries did not matter to them at all, even though they tried to think of it. They were so absorbed in each other that the season, the time, and the place had no importance in their eyes. Then one day she had said that she was suddenly feeling like a person who had grown up. This feeling of maturity on her part had been achieved by her through the 1,000 kisses which they had exchanged with each other. The speaker then goes on to recall how he and the lady were so engrossed in each other that, regardless of the place and time, they used to exchange kisses. A man may be violently passionate, and a woman may be fiercely passionate. But even so, they have to reach their destination or the place of their appointment by buses and by trains. However, whether they travel by buses and trains, or whether they were seated in a restaurant or on the seashore, or on a bench in a park, they only thought of their love for each other, and they heard only music in each other's voice. Then came another stage in their relationship. She began to feel somewhat bored with him. He tried his utmost to retain her regard, but she rushed forward far ahead of him to listen to somebody else's musical voice. The speaker now understands that lovers cannot feed themselves on memories of their love for each other when the love itself has ceased. The woman had then left the speaker and is now at a distance of 10,000 miles from him. She is writing letter after letter to him, and she has also sent him her photograph and a newspaper cutting with certain words underlined by her to draw his attention to something particular which she had come across in the newspaper and on which she had put down her comments with a pencil. At night, the speaker is alone and he thinks of her. His thoughts are stimulated by his recollection of her smell, or perhaps by his recollection of the perfume which she was in the habit of using. The speaker then has some more recollections of the woman. In the city where he was born, and which is not only dirty but also offensive because of the uncivilized ways of the people, that woman was a great comfort to him because she laughed and made him laugh in a new way at the actual state of affairs in the city and at the realities of life. He wants her back with him to enable him to share with her the kind of unsophisticated happiness which she seemed to enjoy in a light-hearted manner and which found an expression on her face. He remembers her face which stood above her shoulders and above her breasts and her thighs. Finally, the speaker finds that the woman does not wish to continue her relationship with him because in her last letter she has enclosed Ramanujan's translation of a religious poem written in Kannada, in which occur two lines expressing the idea that the Lord is playing with flames of fire. After quoting these two lines from that poem, the woman has written in her letter that she would also like to play with fire even if she gets burned. What she means is that she wants to take risks and wants to plunge into a life of adventure even if she comes to grief as a consequence of her rashness.